So hello everyone, this is Atul from the Practical Tech Solution. So again, we are come with some interesting question. So our question is, we are given one array of integers and we have to find out the length of the longest subsequence, okay, such that the elements in the subsequence are consecutive integers. So consecutive integers basically mean to say that these are like 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So here you can see this. I have one array. And manually, if I'm trying to find out the consecutive elements like 1, 3, 4, 2, they can be in any order, but these are called as the consecutive elements, right? Similarly, like 9, 10, this is one consecutive elements. These are the one consecutive elements, right? And 20, we don't have any other like 19 or 20, 19 or 21 like that. So we don't have that much. Fine. So now here, what we have to do is like, we have to find out the length of the longest consecutive subsequence, which is going to have all the consecutive elements. This is our question. So here, let's say, for example, based on this, 1, 3, 4, 2 is one consecutive sequence of consecutive numbers. Then 9 and 10, this is one sequence having the consecutive numbers, and then 20. Among them, so this is the length, longest length is going to be 4 only, right? So we have to solve this problem. Now, how we are going to solve it? So what logic we can apply here is like, first what we can do is, we can sort these elements. See, why we are doing the sorting? So that because all the related elements will come together. Okay, they will come together. And then it will be easy to find out whether the elements are consecutive elements are consecutive or not. So what we can do is like, let's start working on this. Here, let's say I'm going to have the same array. Let me copy this one. And here, Control V. So I just need to make this one as of integer type. Okay. Now let me call the function called as a public static. Here I want to return, so I can do that one. Let's say int, and the function is going to be, let's say, get longest subsequence or sequence, because I have to get the sequence only, right? Sequence, and here I'm going to pass the array. Okay. Now here, let me call this function. So it is returning, so I have to put it inside the SOP statement. So here I'm going to call get longest sequence. Here we are passing the array. Fine. Now the very first thing what we are going to do, I'm going to sort this array. Okay. So let's say how we can sort it. Arrays dot sort, and here I can pass ARR. Once I have all the sorted element, now what I can do is like, I'm going to check, because there may be the possibility I can get the array which is having the duplicate elements. So I am not going to consider that. I'm not going to add the duplicate element. So for that one, because we need to consider that one also. What if the array is going to have the duplicate elements? So what we can do is, we are going to check if the element we are iterating over, if that is not present in the list, then only we should add the list, add the array into the elements into the list. So what we can do is like array list. We can use a set function also there. It's completely okay. Integer. I have the list is equals to new array list. Control Shift O to import the package. Now I'm going to iterate over the array. So for int I is equals to 0, I less than array dot length, then I plus plus. Now here what I'm going to check, if the list dot contains ARR of I. So what I have to do, which is, I have to add the element from the array to the list if it is not present inside the list. So I will put not. So now here I am going to add list dot add that element. So now I have all the unique elements inside my list also. Fine. Now what we have to do is like, see, once I have this sorted array, now how I'm going to see this, I'm going to check first element at the index position. Then I need to check that whether the element I'm going to take the current value of I, and then I'm going to check the next element is equals to the current, whatever the current value of I is pointing to. I have to check the element is equals to the I minus 1 plus 1. What is the meaning of that? Let me first write the code, then we will see it manually. Here, what we can do, what I'm trying to do here is like, let's say here I'm going to use for int I equals to 0, I less than list dot size, then I plus plus. Now here I'm going to check if the value of I is greater than 0 and the list of get function, the current value of I, the element present at the current value, if it is equals to the list of get I minus 1 plus 1. Okay. If it is equals to that, then what I'm going to do, I will increment the count. Okay. Count plus plus. So we don't have the count variable. So let me create at the top int count equals to 0. Right. If it is not, if let's say that this is not the case, let's say because the current value of I is going to be 0, so I is less than 0. And since we are using the AND operator, so this condition fails, so it will never check the if condition. So what we can do, I will put this else part, and here I will start the value of count from 1. So it means that I'm not getting that sequence, right? And also, because I have to get the maximum function, maximum length of the sequence. So let me create one more variable, int longest equals to, or longest sequence is equals to 0. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to reinitialize longest sequence is equals to math.max, and here I'm going to pass the longest and longest sequence, sorry, and the value of count. Okay, and after that simply I will return the longest sequence. Now let's see that how it is working. Once I have added all the elements, okay, so it will be something like, since we have all the unique elements with this example, so I can write 1, 2, 3. I just need to check 1 second. Yeah, okay. Okay, so after sorting, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, and 20, right? Now here, let's work on this. So current value of I is 0. So now I am going to check I is less than 0, false. So it will initialize the value of count to 1. And also current, the value of the longest sequence is going to be, longest sequence is having the current value as a 0 and the count of value is 1. So current value of the longest sequence is going to be 1. Again, I equals to I, we are incrementing the value here. Then now it comes to the second value. Now I is greater than 0. Yes. Now list dot get of 1, that is 2. If it is equals to list dot get I minus 1, I minus 1, that is a 2, 1 minus 1, that is a get of 0. Get of 0 is 1 plus 1, 2. Yes, it is equals to that. So what in that case, I'm going to increment the count. So now the value of count is going to be incremented to, the last value of count is 1. So now it is going incremented to, it is going to be, yes, 2, right? Now again, I'm going to check I, that is a value 2. Again, I'm going to check here the value present at this position, whether it is equals to the value present at I minus 1, I minus 1 plus 1. I minus 1 is, that is 2 minus 1, that is a array element present at position 1, that is 2. And then we are adding the value plus 1 to it. So am I getting the value 3? Yes, I am getting. So again, increment the count. So like that only, we are going to check each and every element. And every time when we are getting this condition true, so we are incrementing the value of count. Now here, if I'm going to run this code, so we should get as a value 4 as a longest count. So let me run this. Right, we are getting the value as a 4. So this is the way that we can solve the problem using using the for loop in the using the thing with a time complexity of OM. So I think you guys are able to understand now this code. So understand the concept. See you in another day. Thank you.